Have you read a story in the Draoithe Saga and come away with a classic case of immersion aftereffect? Let me guess, there are questions which remain unanswered even as the magic expanded, adding another layer to the dream. The grand desire to turn the page to discover what happened next ended with the last leaf turned. If you're asking where the remedy for the book Hangover is, you know the answer: read another story. But you aren't ready for the next tale, not yet. The dust needs to settle before you pick up the next volume. So you have found your way here. You aren't alone. Even the author can't get enough. As you hear this, Ophelia Kee writes on. But allow me to offer you a possibility, a reflection on the tale you recently finished, and a way to revisit the story to ease the story blues. Welcome to the Draoithe Saga After Party. Warning, spoiler alerts ahead. Turn back now if you wish to read the story blind.
Welcome, curious minds, to another deep dive.
Hello.
Today, we're plunging into the Draoithe Saga. It's this world where magic is real, very tangible, and balance is this constant struggle.
Right, a struggle fought one fated couple at a time, which is a fascinating concept in itself.
Exactly. We've got Ophelia Kee's Sorceress Valkyrie in front of us. It's this mix of steamy paranormal romance, urban fantasy,
and magical realism. Yeah, it's quite a blend.
Our mission today, we're going to try and, uncover the threads of power, trust, and connection in this world.
Focusing on a specific relationship that really pushes boundaries.
It really does. We're asking, what does freedom actually look like when destiny and, intense desire are all tangled up?
Precisely. This isn't just about following a story. It's more of an exploration, really. Looking at how these complex bonds get forged, what balance means here, and how deep identities can intertwine when magic is like a third person in the relationship.
Yeah, we're hoping for some real aha moments for you.
Definitely some thought-provoking stuff ahead.
Okay, so let's start with the world itself. Draoithe. It's called a dream to live for. A place where they're trying to restore magical balance, couple by couple, and it's set in Tyler, Texas.
Yeah, an eerily familiar yet magical realist, Tyler, Texas. That description itself tells you a lot.
It does, and the genre blend you mentioned, paranormal romance, magical realism, urban fantasy.
Right, and the author is very upfront, promising steamy hot, wickedly delicious stories.
And clear warnings, too, right?
Yeah.
Adult themes, fantasy violence, explicit situations.
Definitely for a mature audience.
Yeah.
Which makes you wonder straight away, how do these intense elements actually serve the deeper themes? Power, intimacy, connection.
Good question. And Sorceress Valkyrie, our focus, is the fifth in the Valkyrie Writers miniseries.
Yeah, and it throws us right into this clash between light and dark magic.
With a forbidden romance at the heart of it, it really boils down to a choice, doesn't it? Security versus fear.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's meet the couple, Blaze and Grace. First, Blaze, also known as Lachlan Erskine. He's a gray dragon alpha. Ancient, 629 years old.
Yeah, quite the resume. 6'5", 245 pounds, physically imposing.
And his past, dungeon master for a king. What exactly does that mean in this context?
Well, it implies serious magical power, often leaning towards control, maybe darker abilities.
Yeah.
But the key is his dark streak now.
It's redirected only against those who threaten his loved ones.
Exactly. It's controlled power. Disciplined. Which is an interesting take.
And oddly, he's a banker and smells like juniper and whiskey.
Yeah, the details are specific.
Yeah.
It grounds him, despite the immense power. It really frames him as a protector, but one with a, let's say, formidable history.
Right. Then there's Grace Jenkins, Jewel. She's a sorceress, a jeweler.
Physically, quite different. 5'5", 305 pounds, platinum blonde hair, pale green eyes. Smells like jasmine.
Her backstory, though,
Nice.
intense. Understatement. Her business burned down. She was kidnapped for evil medical experiments.
And she faded. It sounds like dying. Effectively, yes. A traumatic, magical event. She died, then woke up trapped in her own mind. Just awful.
So resilience is a huge theme for her right from the start.
Absolutely. She sees Draoithe as a sanctuary, but even then, the outside world, the police, they blame her for the arson.
So where do you find refuge when you're blamed for your own trauma?
Exactly. And that's when Blaze enters dramatic rescue. He literally bleeds for her to stop her crossing over.
And claims her as his Valkyrie right then and there.
It establishes this immediate, profound connection, or maybe even a debt.
And then Luke, he's the leader, right?
The direwolf king, yeah. He orders Blaze to be her bodyguard.
Which is pretty strategic, pushes them together.
Definitely sets them on a path they can't easily leave.
Okay, so we have these two figures, Blaze and Grace. Now let's get into their connection, because it's not typical.
Not at all. This world, Draoithe, has specific rituals for shifter life mate pairs.
Right. Grace needs proof he's her fated mate. And the first step.
Linking emotions. During sex, they have to maintain eye contact until they both climax.
And that opens a link in the mind, like a candle flame.
Exactly. It's the initial confirmation. But the real bonding, the Valkyrie transformation, that goes much deeper.
Deeper and more intense.
Oh yeah. It's a shifter bonding ritual. Starts with the dragon biting his mate.
Oh.
And drinking from her.
Yeah.
Painful, explicitly so. But it turns her, gives her access to his magic.
Okay. And then she has to bite him back.
Drinks his blood. Sharing blood is what allows the magic to ignite. It's deeply reciprocal, even in the pain.
But it gets even more involved, right?
It does. When he enters her intimately, touches her center, his blood actually grants her wings and fangs, manifests her power.
Wow. Okay. And the magic itself forces them to climax.
Yeah, it demands a huge amount of energy to merge the souls. It's described as potentially lengthy and violent.
Violent because of the sheer magical force involved.
Presumably.
Yeah.
An overwhelming fusion. And then they seal it by drinking from each other again.
Okay. So how does Grace, with all her trauma, navigate that? Especially the violent aspect.
That's the core question, isn't it? It's designed for empowerment, but the process is incredibly intense.
And Blaze is aware of this. He struggles.
Very much so. He's afraid of pressuring her. There's this tension between the magical drive to bond and his conscious desire not to harm her further.
Interesting. And his colleague Andre suggests Grace might be subtly manipulating things.
Well, perhaps orchestrating is a better word. Maybe subconsciously. Like, she begged Blaze to sleep beside her to ward off nightmares.
Right, and negotiated with Luke for him to be her bodyguard.
Andre suggests she's ensuring she gets the chance to learn about Blaze, to understand him without him just disappearing. She's creating space.
Taking some control back, maybe?
Perhaps. It adds layers to her agency, even within this fated context.
And Grace is very clear about her fear, isn't she? She tells Blaze her nightmare is losing you.
Yeah, which is incredibly vulnerable. She feels she has nothing material left to offer him.
But he dismisses that completely. Doesn't need possessions, doesn't care if she's broken.
Because he says he's broken too, and tells her she's the only one in the dream who can give me what I need.
That flips the script a bit. It's not about him rescuing the broken woman entirely.
Exactly. It's about mutual need, vulnerability on both sides. And his promise is huge.
Stay and do whatever it takes for as long as it takes, even if it means I stay forever.
Right. And offering to take her fear for his strength. That exchange.
And crucially, I'd never force you. You'd always have to come to me first.
That becomes the bedrock of their dynamic. It redefines the power balance in a really unique way.
So after they finally do link minds, that initial candle flame moment, Grace is stunned. She asks how he managed to wait.
And his answer.
Yeah.
You weren't ready. Pushing the only woman I ever truly desired away from me was never an option. It was quite powerful.
He admits he gave her his blood just to save her life initially.
And that the magic itself pushes him to complete the bond. It's not just desire, it's magical compulsion too.
And he warns her because he's a dragon who was forced to serve.
Yeah, it'll be twice as hard for him to deny her if she makes demands on him. Another power shift.
He even tells her, never run from me. The dragon in me will give chase. Which is intense.
It is, but it's also honest. He lays it all out. Admits he came to Draoithe because Luke knew she and the other potential life mates were there.
All foretold by a necromancer. 7 rescued women for 7 dragons.
Apparently so. And Blaze tells Grace all of this, knowing it wouldn't look good.
That level of transparency, even when it undermines the fated romance idea a bit.
It suggests a deep commitment to honesty within that fated context. Trust is built on truth, even difficult truth.
We even see his commitment, or maybe the pack dynamics, in that sparring match with Andre.
Right, another powerful immortal. Andre subtly throws the match.
Yeah, makes Blaze look bad in front of Grace. Why?
It seems like a sign of respect between them. Andre understands the situation, Blaze's need to perhaps not appear overwhelmingly dominant all the time in front of her. It shows a complex social dynamic.
Interesting. And this leads Grace to a key realization about Blaze's dark side, right?
Exactly. She realizes he needs her to initiate intimacy because of his past, his control. he won't ask.
He relies on his skills and presence to make her want to ask.
And she finds a different kind of power in that, knowing he'd always need her to bring her desire to him.
It completely reframes who's leading the dance, so to speak.
It really does.
Now, stepping back a bit, the dragons themselves, they communicate telepathically.
Yeah, they're collared together, which allows them to open link and coordinate. Very useful for missions.
So that ties into the bigger structure of Draoithe, with Luke, the dire wolf king, leading.
Right. Luke leads with Eli, a tiger shifter. It's a pack structure, needing an alpha male and female for balance.
But dragons are different. They can't just join the pack.
Not until their Valkyrie claims her wings from them. Until then, Luke sees them more as, well, mission assets, powerful weapons.
Which must grate on Blaze, given his history.
Absolutely. There's this deep personal drive for him. Dragons were always tools, servants, never people.
He just wants to be free, seen as an equal.
And Grace, his Valkyrie, is the only way he achieves that dream in Draoithe society. He waited 6 centuries for this chance.
That adds another layer to his devotion. It's not just romance, it's his path to personhood.
And we see that devotion maybe twisted a bit in other relationships too, like Flame and Hannah.
He's another dragon, she's a vampire, and he feeds her his blood.
Yeah, which is forbidden. It could turn her into his thrall, completely subservient.
But he does it anyway.
Because his magic sustains her when she can't hunt. It's dangerous devotion, shows the lengths they'll go to.
And the possessiveness too, right? Flame attacked Blaze.
Believing Blaze might try to take Hannah shows that raw, territorial nature is still very much there among them.
Okay, so back to Blaze and Grace. She finally chooses, accepts his oath, exchanges fear for strength.
And this triggers the full Valkyrie transformation.
Yeah.
Which is, intense.
He shifts into his dragon form first. Gray, silver, blue, black.
Magnificent, yeah. She rides him as a dragon, and then the soul bonding ritual truly begins.
Right, and this brings up that question again. What does submission mean when it's chosen freely?
Especially in a ritual this case. Primal. He bites her neck, drinks her blood pain, then euphoria.
She bites him back, tastes the juniper and whiskey in his blood.
Then it escalates. He uses his claw to make her lick his blood elsewhere.
Okay, brings him to climax, she swallows. It's incredibly intimate and symbolic.
Deeply symbolic. And the magic kicks in hard. Cedra magic.
Making her the lock and him the master key, a complementary power dynamic.
Right. And he uses Veritas magic too, command of 3 intertwined magics.
And the ritual continues with, well, very explicit acts. Anal sex, his blood involved, making her scream but also beg him for it.
The magic and desire seem completely intertwined, driving the physical acts.
Then she rides him, vaginal sex, and when he touches her center.
Her Valkyrie wings unfurl. Light cream, butterfly-shaped blue-black tips. The physical manifestation of the bond.
Wow. So this whole lengthy, explicit ritual, it fuses their souls, seals it.
Completely. Her eyes even turn black in her full Valkyrie state. It's a signal to everyone she is bonded and locked.
And Blaze clarifies his claim. In exchange for all the treasure I can hoard, it's all for her.
His wealth, his power is hers now, but it's mutual. Her acceptance gives him his freedom, his personhood.
Even Luke is stunned by how deep their bond is.
Yeah, he realizes Grace kind of used Blaze's alpha status to give him what he needed too. A reversal.
So now fully bonded, they agree to join the pack. Swear fealty.
And Grace says it perfectly. She needs this place and these people almost as much as I need my dragon.
Finding community, not just a mate.
Right. And Luke's final reflection. It's hard getting the dragons to use his name because no one ever treated them like people before.
It just hammers home how transformative this bond is for the dragon's place in the world, from tools to individuals.
The power of acceptance, really. And love in its unique Draoithe form.
Wow, okay. What an absolutely wild ride into the Draoithe Saga.
It really is something else.
It's clear this world, it pushes boundaries. Romance, power, consent. It's all complex.
Definitely. We've peeled back layers on this fantasy, explored a bond made of magic, desire, fear, freedom.
That dance between fear and freedom is key, isn't it?
From ancient dragons with dark pasts to sorceresses overcoming trauma. It shows how far they'll go for balance, for belonging.
And reshaping who they fundamentally are in the process.
It really makes you think, though, in a world like this, where magic reads desire as need.
Yeah.
And where total protection seems to come with total surrender. What does freedom actually look like?
Is it having the power yourself? Or is it the trust to give that control to someone else completely?
challenging question.
And what about the whole fated mates thing? If it's preordained, how much choice do you really have?
Right. And can a history of being treated as a servant like Blaze truly lead to a future of equality, even with a fated bond?
Lots to think about there. We'll leave you with those thoughts to mull over.
Definitely food for thought.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for your support. For more, visit opheliakee.com. Welcome to the dream. Sincerely. Okay.